The content of this episode may not be suitable for some audiences. Listener's discretion is advised. Welcome to the place of rest, where our aim is to give you language that helps you displace the growing confusion, chaos, and dis-ease of our times. My name is Jonathan Boyce, and it's my pleasure to bring to you today's episode. Virginia and Dr. Maribel Contreras have a conversation on mental health and the Rest and Recover program for first responders. We hope you enjoy today's conversation.
Dr. Maribel Contreras, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Virginia. It's nice to see you here.
Thank you. Today's it's a big day for us at R.E.S.T. October 7th of last year, we launched the Rest and Recover program for first responders, veterans, and those that are in the front lines, really protecting the sovereignty of this nation. At the end of the day, it's hard to kind of frame this because I never in a million years did I think that R.E.S.T was going to expand to include this population, but we did, and here we are. And Dr. Contreras is the reason behind the whole thing. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Virginia.
Our listening audience has been with us a long time, but I'd say most people do not know that we stepped into this population. And I'd like you to give us a little bit of how that happened. Bring everybody to the meeting we had, what you saw, what you heard, and how we got here.
Well, I think in order to bring it to that moment, I do have to backtrack even before that, because when I worked for the fire department, I remember one of my clients who stated he got better. And he did a program called R.E.S.T. And that's the first time I had heard of R.E.S.T. And he said they hooked him up to this thing and then they did this. And he showed me the R.E.S.T. paper. And he said, and they helped fix me. And so I looked at it and I saw the improvement in him. And not only the improvement in him, but the improvement of him with his wife, with his child, with the family, and with the department. So I believe this was now 2020. So everything was kind of shut down and he was going and getting treatment there. And at that time, I put it on my list of this is somewhere that I need to visit. So I usually have a running list of books to read or places to visit that clients say they get better. You know, we get busy.
Yes.
We plan on going. And we keep saying like, okay, I'll get to that later. And fast forward to I then worked in Orange County and I thought, I need to revisit that location. I think it's somewhere near here in Irvine. And, I was even busier than ever now. I was running a treatment center for first responders. More, instead of being in the department, I moved out of the department. And one of the retired firefighters said, you need to go visit this lady, Virginia. And I think I gave him a little attitude and I was like, I'm so busy right now. I was the chief clinical officer and running the program. I said, I'll get to it later. And then finally one day, because of his persistence, he said, all right, everybody, we're taking the team meeting and we're all going down there. And when we went, I think somewhere in that meeting, it clicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, God, I'm here. This is the place I've been wanting to visit. This is a place I was supposed to visit. And I don't know, I think our meeting was like 5 hours. And
it was.
Yeah, it was our usually like 2-hour meeting turned into 5. And everybody was just like at peace. Like we finally found the place that we had been talking about. But not only R.E.S.T, we also learned about R.E.S.T. And so a lot of times we hear rest, but as a society, we're moving so fast. And it's taking care of the body, mind, and the soul, the spirit. And what happens, and I'm very passionate about working with first responders, because what happens is your spirit dies, your body's butchered, and your family is suffering, and your mind is running. And no matter how you say, like they always say, I'm good. They are good. And their body, mind, and spirit is suffering.
Because you're good. They're just not well, right?
Yeah, they're good. They're good to do their job. They're good to go out there and they put it in their backpack of like, I'll deal with it when I retire. I'll deal with it when I'm done because I cannot deal with it right now because it's too much is what they think. And so when we met, it was like, this is exactly what the first responders need. Because suicide, like for firefighters, it's the number one occupational hazard. And it's the one that we can do something about. We can't control some of the other occupational hazards, but this is the one that we have a chance to do something and to help your body, mind, and spirit. And suicide is one of those that it includes all of them because your body takes a toll. Your mind, you feel like you're losing your mind, and then your spirit. Once your spirit's gone, what else is left? And so a lot of firefighters have the highest risk when they're in the department. And for officers, it's usually as soon as they retire, because then officers go get the bad guy, because we're making society better, even at my own expense, and everything's falling apart, but I'm still chasing the bad guy. I'm still out there, protecting and serving until I retire. And now I can finally breathe and go, okay, I'm done.
Your voice is so important here because you really, for many reasons, and I'm going to sing your praises for a minute.
Thank you.
I've worked with first responders and veterans for many years, but they find me on their own time and they pay on their own dime. So when I get up at 4:35 in the morning and I have devotions, I pray, I prepare for the day. And it was so clear Virginia helped first responders. And the backdrop of your story is that you came in and saw me like a week after this sense. I'd announced it to the team and they rolled their eyes and thought, oh no, here we go again. We can barely keep our head above water, but now we're going to launch this. And I said, don't worry about it. God's going to direct our path in this, but just heads up. Well, how are we going to do it? Where do we go? Where do we begin? Well, I don't know. Don't worry about it. It's all going to work out. And sure enough, you came in within a week, but I had spoken to a few different people. And there's so much cynicism and frustration about what's available in mental health by way of clinics and facilities and whatnot. And honestly, I just didn't want to start anything. I wanted to go collaborate with what was already established. And one of the reasons I accepted the appointment wasn't because I wanted to start something. It's because I was certain what we were going to do is bring this program into your facility and your program. And I got to be honest with you, I was shocked to see the resistance because we're a data-driven, evidence-based program. And as you well know, Dr. Maribel, we don't just sit down and talk. We're not about the transaction of the therapeutic process that has merit. We're about the transformation of the integration of the spirit, soul, body. And we have modalities to drive, direct, regulate, and control that. So we always have a finger, a pulse on what's happening to the person. So it's not just random talk therapy, right? Or random. And like I said, we like data. We like information. So when I sat down and spoke with you, you were such a breath of fresh air. And I got to tell you, you're an anomaly. I'd like to say that everybody I spoke to and that has come to me with curiosity, wanting to help, you were so humble, kind, generous, thoughtful, loving. You were a team player before you even said, hey, I'm going to endorse this and I will be your clinical director. I believe in this. I'm putting my name to this. But I just want you to know that not only do I think you were hand chosen and hand selected by God to come and really be the covering over our program, but the integrity and the heart with which you do your work in this very compromised space, mental health care space, was only not shocking and refreshing, but it has been the glue that's held us together. So I want to thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you. I respect you. I admire you. And I can't wait to see what we continue to do together.
Yeah. And I remember that meeting because I was trying to get you to collaborate with one of the treatment centers. And
yes,
we tried really hard. And, it was like, yes, but no, thank you. Yes, but no, thank you. And even though there was some frustration, it was like God saying, nope, This is not the program. This is not what we're going to do. This is greater than this. And
we did not take investor money, and you suffered. You worked for nothing for a year. Our team, everybody here really, other than our core staff, which we have a really tight ship. Everybody else that contributed, Chris McMurray, Molly, his wife, Michelle Matthews, our RN, even Dr. Turner, Louisa Davis, everybody volunteered, Dr. Spencer Lee, everybody really volunteered time. I want to send just shout out to Renee Flynn, who manages and keeps us afloat, manages all the back office for us, because she's really kept track of everything, and we will pay everybody for their gift of time and talent and treasure. So we're slowly making up, but it's been an intense process. This was not for the faint of heart, but we couldn't have done it without you. So I'm so thankful you're here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been tough, but when you look at the population that we're serving, it sounds glamorous to a lot of people, right? Oh, I want to help first responders. And yes, they're American heroes.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, they're a hero. They're also a human being. They put on a suit and they go to work. And this is a job that takes your soul, because they sign up to run in when we're running out, and they sign up to give up their life for us. And, you know, I was talking to a wife of a first responder this week, and she's very religious, and was saying, like, my husband doesn't go to church. And we started talking about it. And I said, your husband is a disciple. He drops his family, drops his kid, drops everything when the call comes. And they are the disciples that carry out that tough job. And
they have faith. They need a lot of faith to run into those situations.
Yeah. Knowing that they could die, they take that role. And, you know, I have my two cousins are CHP. I have a CHP. I have a Riverside sheriff. They're my cousins. They're officers. My son-in-law's a firefighter engineer now. And, you know, any day they could just be taken at the lives of someone else, or a burning building, a fire, anything, or worse. And for me, I always say it's worse when it's their soul. A person can only take so much stress and trauma, you know, dealing as summer's coming. And my first thought when summer's coming, it's like, how many pediatric deaths are we going to have that are going to affect the first responders? Because, you know, the accidents of pools and trying to save lives, that you couldn't save that child. And I think that's one of the worst calls. And it is part of the top 10 worst calls, pediatric deaths. And here we're in June, July, August. Kids are going to be in pools. Kids are going to be home. 15-year-old's going to be babysitting and it's going to lose a 3-year-old. And these calls are going to come through. And so, you know, our dispatchers, they take those calls. They are the eyes and the ears behind a monitor trying to guide everything. And they don't even know where the child is. They're being a therapist and they're guiding them, and they're sending people there, both fire and PD, to assist the family.
We are doing remarkable work, and I'm so thankful for it. And I'm so thankful you believed in us. And I am so thankful for the heart that you put into this, because I know firsthand that you treat each one of these guys like they were your brothers, each one of them like they were members of your family, as do we. And we have a small growing program, but the aim is to really become a template where the R.E.S.T program, as a matter of fact, I'm in the process of writing the curriculum. I just paused for a few minutes to come and meet with you, but we're hoping and praying that we're going to be able to scale this throughout the country. And you're such an instrumental part of that. We wouldn't be here without you. But your point and your examples are so well taken, because I think almost every single first responder that I worked with, not all of them, but a significant percentage of them recall an incident involving a child in similar circumstances as being the tipping point for them, something very significant. And it's the preservation of life, right? And the innocence of life. And there's something so tender about that it feels like this shouldn't have happened. And they do carry the weight of that. But it is such a joy, Maribel, to watch the transformation in these men systematically, and to have you overseeing all that. And you and I don't get to talk as often as we'd like. We try.
We're so busy.
I know it doesn't always, we're both really busy, but we're both working with so much commitment and faith and trust in each other. And I'm really excited about what's before us.
And with the right program and the right services, they're so resilient.
Resilient.
We talk a lot about post-traumatic injury and the injuries that they do have, the PTSD, then it becomes a disorder, right? We talk about that. But there's also the post-traumatic growth. And when the program is aligned and gives them the right tools that they need and helps their brain recover from the injury, they're able to go back to work and they want to go back to work. I always tell my responders, I always say, you guys are so abnormal. And they're like looking at me like, what do you mean? I said, there has to be a little amount of being abnormal to run to someone's worst day, to go in there and like gun ho, like you're built differently. Not everyone is built that way. And that's okay because we need people on each side, right? I'll be here when you guys get done and I'll help you fix your injury that incident, the call has had on you and the impact it has on you and your family. And so when they have that, they're able to have that post-traumatic growth.
Yeah.
And they can hold space for like, it was young, innocent life. And I did the best that I could in that situation.
Well, you brought something interesting to bear that is a huge part of our program, and that's bringing the family to bear. Because the work is so transformational in the life of the first responders, and we do help them see everything differently. Their entire worldview shifts, and we do, with great conviction, talk about the spiritual constitution of healing, the psychological, of course, mind, heart, will, conscience, and feelings constitution of healing. But we also talk about the physical part of healing. And many times the injuries are significant enough that we just have to go in and decompress the central nervous system and help flush out the trauma because it's really lodged in the cells and in the body. And so we systematically, like peeling an onion, we systematically, gently, and carefully embark on that pilgrimage together, right? And they feel very much a part of it. We do not diagnose, treat, or cure. It is not my focus per se. I know you do, and you guys can. I do not. But it is such a joy to not have to live in that space because it opens possibilities for me to be able to address and speak to that perhaps in conventional therapy, they're limited by their license. So it's kind of fun because we can both do both. You can bring the best that the mental health care world has to offer. And I can bring the best in integrative modalities and functional resources to bear.
And I think the difference between like our program, right, and other programs is our clinicians also understand that. So the clinicians here do diagnose, treat, and have that. But we also believe that they're not that diagnosis, just a lens of symptoms that we look at. And so if we look at the symptoms and we look at like, okay, it shows up in this way, it shows up by recurrent thoughts, and it's been showing up in this other way, how are we going to displace confusion, add that clarity to their chaos? And so we want to make sure, right, that we help them live with the purpose by understanding their image, their identity, their nature. So you are not the post-traumatic injury. You are not PTSD.
That's right.
That is just what it shows up. You're not depression. It's just showing up by you not having an understanding and you not living in your true freedom.
Yeah, what you experienced isn't who you are. And we really drive that point home.
Yeah, and trying to figure out what's the root cause of their anxiety and depression and trauma and how it shows up. And through the education, through the modules, through the different modalities that we have, then they're able to get the full body, mind, and spirit.
You and I haven't had a chance to speak in about a month now or so, not like we were used to. But I want you to know that our graduates and our current guys, 100% of them have said, after an hour and a half, 2-hour meeting, I feel hope. Number one, universal. I finally feel hope. This is like nothing I've experienced. The second comment I get is more than a comment. I've been shocked how many tears of, wow, I'm actually going to learn something. I've never heard this before, but this is so reasonable. This is common sense. And one of our first responders said, Virginia, after 6-7 months, he said, I finally get it. I get what you're doing. R.E.S.T is an ICS system that is uniquely woven into who we are. We have an incident command system, right? Protocol that they run when they go into very, very compromised situations. And it causes everything to run smoothly. And everybody knows exactly what to do. And he said, I realize R.E.S.T is an internal ICS system. It's an internal command system that is in place. And you're trying to help us trust, depend, and leverage that. So these external things don't capsize us. And I thought that was such a beautiful comparison that he left me with. So we're making that as a pivotal instruction point, a starting point, because everybody understands that what's predictable is preventable, right?
And no one teaches them that. You go into the job and now it's just starting to change a bit where they're adding 1 hour of wellness in there. And I've heard some departments are mandating them and giving them wellness hours a day. But if you don't know what you don't know. Then
yeah. And one of our sheriffs is the one that pointed that out to me. If it's predictable, it's preventable. And you're really showing us and trying to persuade us and instruct us and help us understand the predictability of so many internal functions, our spirit, our soul, and our body that we really didn't understand to the extent that we do now. It's been such a wild ride and an adventure that I did not want to embark on. I thought we would be able to be teaching and spreading this. I wanted to give it to everybody, but no, nobody wanted to take it. So what did you say? I'll take it. You were my first taker.
I think when we came together, we're like, oh, let's do this. And we're so excited.
Yes.
Gosh, we're doing this, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And
especially when you're ignorant. We are so ignorant. We just didn't have all the information, you know?
I don't know everything. I'm just learning. And, I'm so grateful that I'm able to learn from the first responders that I work with and the first responders that really trust me with sharing their stories. And at the end of the day, they carry their stories. And I get to be a part of their story and learn about what's happening with them in their body, what's happening with them in their soul, and helping them regain that. And through our program, we're able to do it. Like you said, it is a command center. And I know not everybody loves command centers. Only the chiefs love that because they're like, let's put order to this. And everybody else is like, I don't want to do this. And sometimes when they come to our program, we see them in that state of like confusion or very stoic.
Yes.
And very stoic of like, I really don't need this. And I cannot believe that I'm here. Because
there's a shame stigma associated with mental health. And I say this in so many podcasts, but I'm going to say it again. The mind is a function of the soul. The brain is up here in the head. It's a function of the central nervous system, right? It's a part of the central nervous system, but it's the soul. So we're talking about broken hearts and shattered souls. And one of the things that we're going to do, Dr. Contreras, we are going to expand the conversation about what mental health is. It's a broken heart and a shattered soul. And how can you not feel deeply for the plight of humanity when you're constantly going out on these emergency calls and really seeing the brokenness of the human condition?
Yeah. And it does take a toll. And, the stories, you carry them. Carry your own story, their stories, and the human spirit and body can only take so much that before we get to that tipping point, before we get to that full point, this is where our program comes in, our education. It's like, let's clean it out. Let's help you get whatever gunk is here, like an oil change, and just have it clean. So every so often, every so many miles, and so many incident calls, let's do a little wellness check.
You do. You come in here. I come in here all the time. I try to do my own maintenance work.
I do it all the time.
My son, my family, my other son came from New York. Hey, Mom, do you have time to fit me in? I think it needs to become a discipline, because we have so many insults attacking us. There's so much confusion, chaos, and disease in the age, right? That we need this. And we have resources we've never had before. So
in the academies, they teach you procedures, tactical training. This is what we're going to do when this happens. But no one teaches you how to do tactical training for your brain. The brain is an organ. And then you're starting to, your heart. I mean, heart disease is so high. It's a shattered heart. So if we can get into that discipline and tactical training, just come in like, this is just what I have to do, because
I like that tactical training, rest.
Yeah. The role that I play, I need to have rest in there, and I need to be able to come in.
October 7th, we're going to be honoring those that have gone through our program and somebody specific from their department that they'd like to bring, a friend or whatnot. So we're going to have a private event at the villa. It's going to be a joy. Make sure you have that on your calendar. This is private, but on October 9th, we're having a gala, and it's going to be an event to raise capital to support and help. I'm praying that we're going to be able to reach out to 100 first responders next year. I think we've touched and we've worked with close to 20, 25 this first year as we learned, and we've been in contact probably with more, close to 30. But next year, I'm confident that we can scale. We really were conservative in how we approached the subject matter because I saw how serious the condition was. And you, of course, are spread thin among many places you consult with. So I think we're going to be ready to go because we are going to have to finance that growth, primarily because workman's comp and insurance companies are a hot mess right now. This system there's a lot of injustice. And I believe that we can all, if we put our heads together, all of us can be part of the solution. But until then, when we call them, they show up in they respond in seconds and show up in minutes. When they need us, it's taking months, if not over a year, to get their coverage handled. And that's not acceptable. So we are going to have a significant event because we're not going to use these guys as commodities. So I haven't pursued investment money for that reason. And it's going to be a grassroots effort. So we are inviting companies, corporations, people of influence. If you're listening to us, please go to theplaceofrest.com, or we have our own website now. I think Jonathan will put a link on, but Rest and Recover America is the theme this year. Rest and Recover America. Even the strong grow weary and faint, but those who rest will renew their strength. It's a law of nature. So we're excited and confident that this is going to be a year of great expansion and influence. Come join us. 100% of the proceeds are going to be to expand the program to help them quicker, because in several cases, they are denied to the point of shame, and they disappear, they go away at best. And at worst, they just can't take the pressure of the whole thing. And the consequences are devastating. We're not going to take that lying down. We've shown up for the conversation, me against my will. When God says go, you better just go. And he's faithful. He'll put all the pieces together. But I wanted to kick this off with you because you're that piece.
Thank you.
You're that big, beautiful piece. And you're such a soul sister. And thank you. Thank you for trusting me.
Thank you for having me and being part of the team, because we are small and we're almighty, and there is heart in our program and we all care. And some of us that came on our team were like, I don't know anything about that, but I understand trauma. I understand the body. I understand the soul. I understand this piece of it, or I'm retired and I bring this. And, I really, really want to thank our clients this year.
Oh, yeah.
Responders that, for the first ones were like, we're all in this together, and they rolled with it. They went with it. And some of them had been in 2 or 3 or 5 or 8 other treatment centers.
And the appreciation those guys express daily.
And so they rolled with us, and we're like, hey guys, we're developing a program like no one else, because we don't want to cookie cutter it. We don't want to make money off of this. We don't want them coming back, be part of our peer support. And we want them to be the staff in the future that say, you know what, I'm retired now. This helped me and I want to give back. And so, this is an inner where we are the ones holding the curriculum and the program and the licenses or the experience. And we're bringing that there. And everyone is amazing there. The clients clients that we have.
You know, we are. Everybody says we have a dream team, and you know what? We do.
Yeah.
Thank you for making it all possible.
My dream client.
I will say that we've all been touched, every one of us. It's been so humbling because we feel like we gave nothing. They've given everything to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so rewarding. It's such a joy. But they don't come back to program, but they do come back for the services. And we make those available once they've come through R.E.S.T. Living R.E.S.T. is an actual program that we have for them and their families. So it's really inspiring to see them benefit from it and leave knowing that now we're all part of this bigger family and they can always come back. Whether insurance covers or not, I don't care. They can come back. So there's an open door policy here. And the dream is to scale the curriculum and the framework of R.E.S.T. because that's what's transformative. Thank you, Dr. Contreras. Closing words?
I think what's most important to remember is that even though we're running the program, we can't do this without the community. And for me, it's so important. And sometimes my passion takes over. And we need to also be that support for them. And even though they say, I don't need it, I'm good. It's how can I give back and what can I do within my role? And sometimes it is saying like, hey, have a good day. Hey, thank you for showing up and not thank you for your service or you're a hero, right? Because they really don't want to hear they're a hero because they're struggling internally, but they are a warrior. They showed up. So next time you see a first responder out there, just tell them, thank you for showing up. And
I like that.
And if you have any way to give back, any resources, let our team know. And we're here to grow together and be together and work together to be the service providers for the service providers.
When you go to our website and you see the statistics, I think you're going to find they're alarming.
Yeah.
So it's a sobering experience.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Contreras. I love you. We love you and we thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Virginia.
We hope listening to this episode has brought you closer to experiencing the freedom of wholeness and healing. If you have questions or comments about today's episode, or for updates about R.E.S.T., please visit our Instagram or Facebook at The Place of R.E.S.T. If you would like more information about Virginia, or to support and join the cause of R.E.S.T., please go to theplaceofrest.com/donate or call 949-289-5935. Thank you for listening to R.E.S.T. with Virginia Dixon. We'll see you next week.